Welcome to a journey that transcends time, as we delve into one of the most captivating chapters in spiritual history, the Golden Age of Tibetan Buddhism. Picture this: majestic snow-capped mountains standing as silent witnesses to the symphony of monks chanting ancient mantras. The air vibrates with serenity as golden prayer wheels spin in reverence and centuries-old monasteries hum with the wisdom of generations. This is more than history. This is the heartbeat of a culture, the soul of a people whose lives revolved around the pursuit of enlightenment. Tibet, often called the roof of the world, was not just a place. It was a sanctuary where spirituality flourished like nowhere else, a realm where the sacred and the earthly intertwined, creating a legacy that echoes far beyond its borders. In this video, we'll take you deep into the history of Tibetan Buddhism, unraveling stories of resilience, transformation, and spiritual brilliance. We'll explore the rise of iconic monasteries like Jokhang, Drepung, and Sera, which stood not just as architectural marvels, but as beacons of learning and devotion. You'll meet visionary figures like Padmasambhava, Atisha, and Tsongkhapa, whose teachings shaped Tibetan Buddhism into a philosophy that captivated hearts and minds across the globe. But this journey is not just about the luminous heights of spiritual achievement. It's also a tale of perseverance in the face of unimaginable challenges. We'll uncover how Tibet's cultural and spiritual identity survived centuries of upheaval, political struggles, invasions, and modernization, preserving its essence like a flame sheltered from the storm. As we walk through the corridors of Tibetan history, we'll uncover the treasures of its spiritual wisdom. From the intricate art of thangka painting to the profound teachings of the Dalai Lamas, each chapter reveals how Tibetan Buddhism became a guiding light for those seeking peace, compassion, and a deeper connection to life. So join us as we retrace the footsteps of monks, mystics, and seekers who transformed the mountains into a spiritual sanctuary. Let us honor the legacy of Tibetan history, a timeless reminder of humanity's unyielding pursuit of the divine. This is not just a story. It is an invitation to connect with the spirit of a land that dared to dream of enlightenment and succeeded. To truly grasp the essence of the golden age of Tibetan Buddhism, we must first journey back to its beginnings, a story of profound transformation and cultural synthesis. Tibetan Buddhism, a spiritual tradition as vast and intricate as the Himalayan peaks, emerged as a fusion of Indian and Chinese influences. Its roots trace back to the 7th century, when the seeds of enlightenment were sown in the fertile soil of Tibet's unique landscape and culture. It was during the reign of the visionary King Songtsen Gampo that the foundation for this extraordinary spiritual evolution was laid. Songtsen Gampo, a unifier and a seeker, invited scholars and monks from India to share their wisdom and teachings. Among them were masters like Shantarakshita and Padmasambhava, who would go on to shape the spiritual and philosophical framework of Tibet. Together, they planted the roots of Buddhism deep within the heart of Tibet, creating a legacy that would grow into a cultural and spiritual renaissance. What makes this journey remarkable is how Tibetan culture didn't just adopt Buddhism, it wove it into the very fabric of its identity. Ancient Tibetan beliefs, steeped in reverence for nature and spirits, blended seamlessly with Buddhist teachings, creating a unique spiritual path. This was not a simple assimilation, but a harmonious fusion, giving rise to practices and traditions that were distinct yet universal. This cultural renaissance sparked centuries of creativity and devotion. Monasteries became not just places of worship, but epicenters of learning, where philosophy, medicine, astrology, and the arts thrived. Artists brought divine visions to life in intricate thangka paintings, while architects crafted stupas and monasteries that seemed to touch the heavens. Poets and scholars composed texts that delved into the mysteries of existence, leaving behind a legacy of profound thought. The blending of these traditions gave Tibetan Buddhism its unique character, a balance of intellectual rigor, spiritual depth, and cultural expression. It wasn't just a religion, it became the soul of the Tibetan people, guiding them through the joys and struggles of life. Understanding these origins reveals the foundation of the Golden Age, a time when Tibetan Buddhism reached its zenith and inspired the world with its wisdom and compassion. It is a story of cultural resilience, spiritual awakening, and the enduring power of human aspiration. This is the essence of Tibetan history, a legacy that continues to light the way for seekers across the globe. During the golden age of Tibetan Buddhism, monasteries emerged as the beating heart of Tibetan life, a harmonious blend of spirituality, scholarship, and community. These were not merely places of worship, they were vibrant hubs of learning and culture, akin to universities of their time, where the pursuit of enlightenment coexisted with the quest for knowledge. Among these, Sami Monastery stands as a symbol of this transformative era. Built in the 8th century under the guidance of King Trisong Detsen, it was the first Buddhist monastery in Tibet. Designed to reflect the universe as envisioned in Buddhist cosmology, its architectural grandeur was matched only by the depth of wisdom it nurtured within its walls. Here, monks devoted themselves to rigorous studies, exploring disciplines as diverse as metaphysics, astrology, linguistics, and medicine. Imagine the daily rhythm of life in these monastic communities. The soft hum of chanting mingled with the rustling of scriptures as monks engaged in lively debates, testing the boundaries of their understanding. Knowledge was revered as sacred, and this dedication to learning fostered an intellectual tradition that remains unparalleled. Every aspect of Tibetan Buddhism, from its intricate philosophical doctrines to its vibrant art and ritual practices, flourished during this time, supported by the monastery's unwavering commitment to preservation and innovation. This era also witnessed the meticulous transcription and translation of texts. Monks worked tirelessly to translate the vast body of Indian Buddhist literature into Tibetan, ensuring that the teachings of the Buddha would endure for generations. This labor of love created a legacy of spiritual and intellectual treasures that continues to inspire modern seekers and scholars alike. But these monasteries were not isolated ivory towers. They were deeply embedded in the lives of the people, offering guidance, healing, and education. They served as bridges between the sacred and the mundane, bringing the wisdom of Buddhism into the daily lives of communities. Their role extended beyond spiritual instruction, as they helped shape the cultural and ethical fabric of Tibetan society. The Golden Age was a time when the pursuit of enlightenment extended far beyond individual aspirations. It was a collective journey, driven by the belief that knowledge, compassion, and understanding could illuminate the path for all beings. These monasteries, with their profound contributions to Tibetan history, continue to remind us of the transformative power of dedication, learning, and faith. This legacy, carried forward through centuries, is a testament to the enduring spirit of Tibetan Buddhism. The Golden Age of Tibetan Buddhism shone brightly, guided by the wisdom and vision of towering figures like Padmasambhava, lovingly known as Guru Rinpoche, and Atisha, the revered Indian scholar. These individuals were more than just spiritual leaders. They were reformers, visionaries who transformed Tibetan Buddhism into a profound living tradition that resonated with the needs of their time. Padmasambhava's arrival in Tibet in the 8th century marked a pivotal moment in Tibetan history. His teachings not only introduced esoteric practices of Vajrayana Buddhism, but also bridged the gap between the indigenous Bon traditions and Buddhist philosophy. Known as the Second Buddha, he is credited with taming the wild spiritual landscape of Tibet, harmonizing diverse beliefs and establishing a foundation for spiritual growth that remains unshaken to this day. His life is a reminder of the power of courage and adaptability, qualities that allowed him to guide a nation into enlightenment while honoring its roots. Centuries later, Atisha arrived in Tibet during a period of spiritual decline. He didn't just bring Buddhist teachings, he rejuvenated them, emphasizing the importance of ethical conduct, compassion, and intellectual rigor. His seminal work, The Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment, remains a cornerstone of Tibetan Buddhist philosophy, offering a clear and systematic guide for practitioners. Atisha's ability to present timeless wisdom in ways that resonated with the people of his era exemplifies his role as a reformer, a bridge between the ancient and the contemporary. But their contributions extend beyond the spiritual realm. Padmasambhava and Atisha were teachers, leaders, and healers. They embodied the principle of adaptability, showing us that true wisdom is not rigid but flexible, capable of evolving to meet the needs of the moment. Their stories remind us that the essence of Tibetan Buddhism lies not just in its rituals or texts, but in its ability to respond to the challenges of life with compassion and creativity. As we reflect on their lives, we are left with a profound question. How can we carry forward this legacy of adaptability in our own lives? In a world of constant change, their teachings encourage us to embrace the flow of life, blending our own values with the wisdom of the past. Just as Padmasambhava and Atisha transformed their world with insight and courage, we too can shape a future guided by compassion, resilience, and an open heart. Their legacy isn't just history. It's a living testament to the transformative power of wisdom and adaptability, inviting us to be agents of change in our own journey. Through their example, Tibetan history continues to inspire seekers across the globe, a timeless light on the path to understanding and enlightenment. The golden age of Tibetan Buddhism wasn't defined solely by its towering monasteries or profound teachings. It was also a time when art, music, and literature blossomed, forming a harmonious tapestry of spiritual devotion and creative expression. This era reminds us that spirituality and creativity are deeply intertwined, each enhancing the other in extraordinary ways. Tibetan thangka paintings are a vivid example of this synergy. These intricate works of art, often depicting deities, mandalas, or scenes from Buddhist teachings, were far more than visual masterpieces. Each stroke of the brush carried intention, each color imbued with symbolic meaning. The creation of a thangka was an act of meditation in itself, a prayerful offering that aimed to inspire both the artist and the viewer to connect with higher truths. These paintings were, and still are, a bridge between the material and the spiritual, guiding seekers toward deeper understanding. Music, too, played a vital role in Tibetan culture. The resonant chants of monks, accompanied by the haunting notes of horns and cymbals, were not merely performances but profound expressions of devotion. These chants echoed the rhythms of the universe, their vibrations believed to harmonize the soul with the cosmos. Listening to them, one can almost feel the timeless wisdom carried within their melodies, a reminder that music can be a powerful conduit for spiritual connection. Tibetan literature flourished in this golden era, with scholars and poets creating works that blended poetic beauty with philosophical depth. Texts like the Tibetan Book of the Dead continued to captivate minds, offering profound insights into life, death, and the nature of existence. These literary treasures reveal how words, when infused with purpose, can transcend time and space, speaking to the heart of human experience. Now let's pause and reflect. What can we learn from this rich legacy of Tibetan creativity? Imagine a world where every stroke of a brush, every note of a chant, every word written carries a deeper purpose, a connection to something greater than ourselves. This is the essence of Tibetan art and culture, where creativity is not an end in itself, but a path to enlightenment. In our own lives, this legacy invites us to infuse our creative endeavors with intention and meaning. Whether we are painting, writing, singing, or simply expressing ourselves, we can draw inspiration from Tibetan history. The harmony between spiritual devotion and artistic expression reminds us that creativity is not just about what we produce. It's about how we connect with our inner selves and the world around us. This flourishing of art, music, and literature during the Golden Age was more than cultural enrichment. It was an expression of a people's spiritual journey. Through their creations, the Tibetans of this era left behind a timeless message, that true beauty lies in the merging of purpose and passion, of the sacred and the creative. This is the enduring gift of Tibetan history, a testament to the transformative power of art and spirit. Even the brightest golden ages are not immune to shadows, and the story of Tibetan Buddhism is no exception. The spiritual journey of Tibet, marked by enlightenment and cultural brilliance, was also tested by moments of profound challenge. Internal strife, political upheaval, and external threats cast their shadows over this luminous era. Yet what shines through is the remarkable resilience of Tibetan history, a resilience that transformed trials into opportunities for growth and renewal. One of the earliest challenges arose in the 9th century during the reign of King Langdharma, a ruler whose skepticism toward Buddhism led to its suppression. Monasteries were closed, scriptures destroyed, and monks forced into exile. For a time, it seemed as though the light of Tibetan Buddhism might flicker out, but it was in this darkness that resilience found its voice. Hidden in remote corners of Tibet, dedicated practitioners preserved the teachings, safeguarding them for future generations. When the political tides shifted, Buddhism emerged stronger, revitalized by the enduring commitment of its followers. External threats also tested Tibet's spiritual foundation, from the Mongol invasions in the 13th century to the challenges posed by modern geopolitical struggles. Tibetan Buddhism faced immense pressure. Yet, each time, it adapted and evolved, finding ways to survive and even thrive. Monks and scholars sought refuge in neighboring regions, carrying their teachings to India, China, and beyond. In exile, Tibetan Buddhism did not just endure, it flourished, spreading its message of compassion and wisdom to the world. This resilience wasn't just about survival, it was about transformation. The very essence of Tibetan Buddhism teaches impermanence, the idea that change is inevitable and can lead to growth. This philosophy became a lived reality for the Tibetan people. Their ability to adapt without losing the core of their spiritual and cultural identity is a lesson in strength and grace. Consider the global spread of Tibetan Buddhism in the modern era. Figures like the Dalai Lama have become ambassadors of peace and compassion, bringing Tibetan teachings to a global audience. Today, Tibetan Buddhism inspires millions, offering a path of mindfulness, kindness, and spiritual exploration. This global influence is a testament to the resilience of a tradition that has weathered centuries of trials. As we reflect on this history, we are reminded of the enduring power of values deeply rooted in compassion, wisdom, and perseverance. Tibetan history teaches us that resilience is not simply about enduring hardship. It's about finding meaning in adversity, adapting to change, and carrying forward what truly matters. This story is not just a historical account. It's an invitation. It challenges us to consider how we can cultivate resilience in our own lives. How can we face trials with the same unwavering faith and courage? Tibetan Buddhism shows us that even in the face of great challenges, the spirit of compassion and wisdom can light the way forward, enduring and evolving for generations to come. Fast forward to today, and Tibetan Buddhism remains a shining beacon of wisdom in an ever-changing and often turbulent world. It is not just a relic preserved in the annals of history. It is a living, breathing tradition that continues to inspire millions across the globe. From the tranquil halls of ancient monasteries to bustling cities and remote corners of the world, its teachings resonate as profoundly today as they did during the Golden Age. What makes Tibetan Buddhism so enduring is its universal principles: compassion, mindfulness, and interconnectedness. These are not just abstract ideals. They are tools for navigating the complexities of life. In a world increasingly defined by speed and disconnection, these teachings offer a counterbalance, a reminder to pause, reflect, and act with intention. The Golden Age of Tibetan Buddhism laid the foundation for this timeless relevance. During that era, the teachings were carefully cultivated, refined, and passed down with a dedication that ensured their survival and adaptability. The principles that guided monks and scholars centuries ago, such as the practice of compassion for all beings and the awareness of the interdependence of life, are the same principles that guide modern practitioners in seeking peace, clarity, and purpose. Today, figures like the Dalai Lama serve as powerful voices for these teachings, bridging the gap between ancient wisdom and contemporary challenges. His message of compassion as the cornerstone of human connection resonates universally, transcending cultural and religious boundaries. Tibetan Buddhist practices such as meditation and mindfulness have also found their place in modern psychology, education, and healthcare, offering practical ways to foster mental well-being and resilience. But the heart of Tibetan Buddhism's modern influence lies in its ability to adapt while remaining true to its essence. This adaptability was forged during its golden age, tested through trials and perfected over centuries. Whether practiced in a Himalayan monastery or a metropolitan yoga studio, the core of Tibetan Buddhism remains unchanged, a call to live with purpose, kindness, and awareness. Reflecting on its golden age, we see striking parallels between the challenges of the past and those we face today. The resilience that sustained Tibetan Buddhism through political upheavals, cultural transformations, and exile is the same resilience we can draw upon in our personal journeys. Its teachings remind us that change is not to be feared, but embraced, that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and that the principles of compassion and mindfulness can illuminate even the darkest paths. So, what can we learn from Tibetan Buddhism in the present day? Perhaps the greatest lesson is this: ancient wisdom is not confined to the past. It is alive, evolving, and ready to guide us through modern challenges. By reflecting on its golden age and embracing its teachings, we find a timeless roadmap for creating a more compassionate, mindful, and interconnected world, a legacy of Tibetan history that continues to inspire and transform lives everywhere. As we come to the end of this journey, let us not see the golden age of Tibetan Buddhism as merely a chapter sealed in the pages of history. Instead, let us view it as a luminous flame, a beacon that continues to guide humanity toward enlightenment, compassion, and harmony. This is not just a story of the past. It is a living legacy, an eternal source of wisdom that invites us to reflect, grow, and transform. The Golden Age was a time of unparalleled spiritual and cultural brilliance, but its true significance lies in the lessons it offers for the present and the future. Tibetan Buddhism teaches us that enlightenment is not a distant goal reserved for a chosen few, but a journey available to all. A journey grounded in compassion, mindfulness, and the recognition of our interconnectedness. History, after all, is not just about looking back. It is a mirror that reflects timeless truths, a guide that offers insights into the challenges and opportunities of today. The resilience of Tibetan Buddhism through centuries of trials reminds us that even in the face of adversity, hope and wisdom can endure. It shows us that the seeds of a golden age are planted not in times of ease but in moments of courage, creativity, and determination. So as you step away from this story, take a moment to reflect. What lessons will you carry forward? Will it be the compassion that formed the heart of Tibetan teachings, guiding you to connect with others in kindness? Will it be the mindfulness that empowers you to live with clarity and purpose amidst the noise of modern life? Or perhaps it will be the resilience that inspires you to face challenges with strength and grace, transforming obstacles into opportunities for growth. Imagine creating your own golden age, not one written in grand monuments or sweeping histories, but one etched in the small, meaningful actions of daily life. Imagine weaving the wisdom of Tibetan history into your own story, allowing its light to guide you toward harmony and fulfillment. This is the enduring gift of the golden age of Tibetan Buddhism, a timeless reminder that within each of us lies the potential to create a world of peace, understanding, and connection. So the question we leave you with is this: what wisdom will you carry forward to create your own golden age?